All right, it's a great start to the show there. Jerome is doing party tricks by breathing through his armpit. Welcome, we are live. And welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show, the review. We're back again, of course, every week with the latest transfer news, the latest rumours, speculation, whatever, news about football. It's here and it's global. It's the Transfer Exchange Review. Up the top today, we have our number 9, our star striker. It's the chief scout, Steve K. I genuinely think, Steve, for the last few weeks, I haven't given him that intro yet, and he's not been the same. And that smile there, clearly shows that he wanted the intro. Go on, Steve. Say hello.
Like right off last week, you did. Hello, everybody. How are you doing, everybody?
It's the man in the middle today. He's formerly known as Simon Powell, formerly known as Sheffield Simon. He is the man with the wooden spoon. It's the chef. How you doing, Si?
I'm all right. No spoon. Still trying, but no spoon.
No, there's always a spoon. Last week, that spoon was a golden spoon. You was absolutely on fire last week. Giving it some of that. I love that. Hopefully, same this week. And it's the marksman. Are you going to film me? Are you going to tell me that you found the next UC Benayoun?
It's coming. It's coming.
Jerome, you're meant to be my head overseas scout, finding the next gems. I asked you for El Berkovic or UC Benayoun. What'd you bring me? Nothing. You bring me a mic without a windsock, mate. That's what you bring. Let's even this up because we're all on a level. Here we go. Boom. It's not easy like that. Is it easy like that? Yeah, it's easy like that. All right. So, first of all, it wouldn't really be the Transfer Exchange Show if we didn't talk about the potential of the FA moving the transfer window from August to October. It's big news, it's small news, it's news. But will it impact us really much? The French leagues have already opened their window. They opened their window on Monday, but they're only allowed to transfer players within the French league. The Spanish league, they are looking to open their league at the end of July once their season commences. And England look like they're going to be doing the same in August. One of the reasons why we may have seen, here's a bit of transfer news early, we may have seen an early bid from Wolves for Axel Disasi is because the transfer window in France is open. Yes, they are only allowed to transfer between teams in France, but I'm guessing Wolves have sort of seen that and thought that Disasi, being the player that he is, potentially any team in France could get a bargain there. Jerome, you did a little bit on Disasi, didn't you? What kind of player would Wolves be getting if they were to get through with that bid?
Got a very strong, aggressive centre back. It looks like an excellent player. If they can sign him for, under 20 million, then I think they've got potentially a very good player on their hands. He's someone that I think would really suit the Premier League because of how aggressive he is, and he's also good on the ball as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, he looks a blinding player.
I think he did say that even though he was linked to Arsenal, if he didn't go to Arsenal, he would be going to another team in the Premier League, which would be a relatively good club. And it looks like Wolves are making that leap to the £30 million player. So the potential that the league, the transfer window could be being moved. However, it does not mean there are no deals going through now. It doesn't mean that there's no talk going through now, because we assure you there is definitely agents speaking to clubs, clubs speaking to agents, clubs speaking to clubs. Stuff is going down. The place to see it and hear about it is obviously the Transfer Exchange Show. First big story of today. Eduardo Camavinga, Jude Bellingham, Ryan Gravenberch have all been linked to clubs this week. young prodigies, wonder kids. These are the next generation of superstars. They've been linked away to clubs all over Europe. But is it the right move? Is it right for these 16, 17, 18-year-olds to be moving already? Or should they be settling down in their clubs and looking to develop at the clubs they're already at? There's obviously a reason why clubs are going for these players, because they are like super talented. Steve, what do you think? Do you think that the likes of Camavinga, Gravenberch and Bellingham should be moving, or should they be developing at their current clubs?
No, I think they should be developing at their current clubs. One of them has already signed a contract.
Yeah, Gravenberch.
And that's Gravenberch. He's signed until 2023. So there was a little smile on my face when I see that. Camavinga looks like he's going to be staying at Rennes for another season, which again I'm pleased about that. It looks like Jude Bellingham's off to Borussia Dortmund. They're all super talented, and I could go through everyone, telling you a little bit about them, but I think we'd be here after show. Gravenberch is, he's staying at Ajax. They're the best club for his development, and I think he's seen that. So I'm very pleased about that. Camavinga's at Rennes again, another fantastic academy. Probably next to Ajax, the best in Europe. And Jude Bellingham, who's only 16, he's at Birmingham at the moment. So I think maybe out of all of them, it's probably a good idea for him. If he's one of them to move on, then maybe him. He's got Man United after him. He's got Borussia Dortmund after him. He's another super talented kid, 16 years old. I don't know what I was doing at 16-year-old. And thank you for playing around the flat, I think. So I don't know what, but he's like a midfield general, very tall. And Dortmund and United are just fighting over him. We've got the biggest club arguably in world football, and the second biggest club in Germany, basically after this kid. He's in 30 appearances. The kid has got 20 of them were substitute appearances, and in them he scored 3 goals, 3 assists. And in his youth, in the England youths, he's had 10 games, scored 6 goals, 3 assists. He's 16. 16 years old. I've never known anything like 16 years old. Unbelievable for me. An absolute star of the future. He's going to Borussia Dortmund. He's turned down Man United flat. Basically because he feels that Borussia Dortmund is better for his development, which I big up the kid massively. But 3 super talented, and I think they've all made the right choices in what to do for their futures.
Jerome, do you feel like it's the right move for these players to be staying, or would you like to see these players at other clubs?
I think what's important for them, because I think maybe apart from Gravenberch, I think they're starting to play regularly for their clubs. And I think what's important, whether they go to another club or not, I think what's important is for them to play regularly. I think for Bellingham, who looks an absolute quality player, for him to go from playing quite regularly to being sat on the bench for half the season for a club, I don't think would do him any good. So, yeah, if he's, well, like Steve said, it looks like he's going to Dortmund. But if he does go to Dortmund, he might not play every game, but he's got to play a lot. Otherwise, we've seen it with clubs such as Arsenal. You put these youth players, you put them in and out of the team, and they can't get a proper run going.
Yeah.
So yeah, whether they stay or not sure, but they need to play. They need to play.
Yeah, Ryan Gravenberch is just broken into the Ajax team, and since he has, he's playing a bit more regularly. Even played against PSV, which is no mean feat for a guy who's just turned 17. and just recently broke the record for the youngest player to play for Ajax. They took that record off of Clarence Seedorf. So that record held for years. So they don't play these players lightly. It's not like they're just throwing in 16-year-olds. They're throwing in players who they really feel that could do the job.
Also, one more thing with that, they're all central midfielders, and normally, if you get a very young player, you might maybe a winger or a striker, but central midfield is such a responsible position that if they're playing them at this age, then you'd like to think they're quite special to be playing in that position.
Exactly. Simon, do you feel like it's the right move for these guys to stay, or do you think they should get experience elsewhere?
I think two should stay. I think the other one should definitely go to Borussia Dortmund because they'd be absolutely fantastic for him. Just when you go on with Jude Bellingham and all the conversations we've had on WhatsApp, let's just nip that. That's in the sea. That doesn't exist. So basically, when you go through Jude Bellingham and we being at Birmingham, I don't think at Birmingham he's going to basically improve his performance. He'll get game time, but I don't think he'll improve. Under somewhere at Borussia Dortmund, where it's Germany, they're efficient, they do stuff on a daily basis, they have a routine for everything. He'll get game time as well. Not 100% in the Bundesliga, he might get a few appearances in the German Cup and all that. But I think someone like Bellingham, he'd be fantastic under someone like Arsene Wenger from 2007 onwards. The way that our young kids went to semi-finals in the League Cup, they went all the way through that competition. None at first team even got a mention, and I think he needs that rather than just staying in the Championship and it's just plugging away and it's easy for him at the minute. There's no competition there. He needs to go somewhere. Don't go to Man United. I'm not saying this is a bitter rival fan. I'm saying don't go to Man United because we all saw what happened with Wilfried Zaha. Got his big move, went there, had a few appearances, didn't cut it, and then basically got left on the bench and had to pick his career back up again and had to go back to Crystal Palace. If you're a young kid, say you're 17 and you've signed for Man United, you think, yes, I'm going to play for Man United. You get a few games and it's like, you're not ready. And then they'll just chuck you out on loan. And then they'll forget about you. Somewhere like Borussia Dortmund or Chelsea would be fantastic. Yeah,
I mean, you make a good point there, Simon, because the other two players, I mean, Camavinga's playing in the top league in France. Ryan Gravenberch is playing in the top league in Holland, and both of them teams will be playing European football. Rennes will be playing European football, as will Ajax. Birmingham won't be, and the kind of football he'll be playing could. I don't want to be horrible to the Championship, but sometimes can be industrious, can be a bit more Route 1, could be a bit less. It's not the top league for a reason. You've got a very good mix, and it will benefit him in certain ways, but it will hold him back in others. And I think Steve said it right, and you said it right. That move to Borussia Dortmund especially could be a really good move for him because he'll be getting. Like you said, it's a central midfield role. He may not be playing week in, week out, but he'll be playing regularly, and he'll be playing at a very high standard.
Look at Sancho.
And look at Sancho, and Sancho's not the only English player that's gone over to Germany. There's a reason why players are going over to Germany. There's quite a few. There's the young winger at Schalke who Man United are linked with from Wales. Players are going over there. There's a reason why Emil Smith-Rowe went over to Leipzig before he got injured. There's a reason why Reiss Nelson went over to Hoffenheim. Germany is a good place because it's a good standard, and these players are going to get games. So it's a good move. There was one other.
Bellingham, he even was quoted, Jude Bellingham. He actually quoted himself, and he said that I don't want to go to Manchester United because I won't get enough play time.
No, he won't.
So he must have had some sort of conversation with, I would assume, with both clubs, and he's chose Dortmund for that very reason.
And this is the thing: when you go to a club like Manchester United, if you're going as a youngster, you have to be very sure that it's going to develop your career, because they won't think twice about just holding you back if you're not ready right now. Whereas other clubs will give you an opportunity. They will let you play into being ready. And to the fans and to the pundits, that people may be going crazy saying, why are you playing this person? He's not there yet. But that's to help the development of that player. Whereas Man United, they've been like this for years. This isn't new. Man United have done it for years, where they've had youngsters that you feel are coming through and are the next big thing. And then, I'm not going to win the league with this kid, so he's going to sit on the bench while I will bring in a player who will help me win the league. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's if you're talking about developing young players, developing the player developing himself, Man United's not the right move for him. It's not. One player who did make a move this week, it was confirmed. The move was actually leaked by this player about a month ago. But Johan Mina of Ecuador. This player, please go and check him out. He's a young Ecuadorian player, absolutely ripped up at the Under-17s World Cup in Brazil in October. He was joint top goal scorer, attacking midfielder, playmaker, can score goals, can pass. He's got tricks which... the words Neymar come to mind. Steve, you had a little look at Johan Mina. Just describe what kind of player Werder Bremen will be getting.
He's the player we all want to play. We all want to be as a kid. He's that attacking midfielder with an eye for a goal, like you just said. He first came into European clubs' eyes in the Under-17 South American Championships, where he absolutely ripped it up to pieces. He finished top scorer. He ended up getting a player of the tournament. The kid has got immense talent. He's tall. He runs that midfield. He's like, again, he's one of these midfielders who tells you this is my own. I own this midfield. He's got an excellent eye, a great passer of the ball. He's an excellent finisher. He's literally got the lot. And Werder Bremen, what a coup they've got with this kid here.
Definitely.
I mean, they've got to wait a little while before they're going to see him, because he decided he hasn't played a game since 2018. The kid, because basically his club, Emelec, where he came from in Ecuador, they basically had the hump because he said, "Well, I don't want to play no more. I want to leave." So, because of the way Ecuadorian football goes, they literally said, "Well, you're not playing for us anymore." So, but to be fair to the kid, at 17 years old at the time, he stuck his two fingers up and said, "Well, sod you then, I'm still going." And he kept match fit, and he still played for Ecuador. And, we just can't wait until we see him in the Bundesliga. I just can't wait to see this kid. He's top draw.
Yeah, thanks for that, Steve. Yeah, please do go out and check Johan Mina. It wouldn't be wasting your time. He's an absolute delight to watch. Skills, tricks, he has everything. And Werder Bremen have got a very good signing on a free, wasn't it? Is it on a free transfer? Was it?
Yeah.
Or is it a conversation? It's a free transfer. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy because just on a side note, Arsenal are linked with players like Gabriel Veron. Man City are linked with Sonji Hansen. These are stars. This kid's one of them stars, and he's gone to Werder Bremen on a free. So that really kind of that puts on a level. One big thing you can't really get away from this week, or since the season stopped, is Man United have been linked to some of the biggest names in the game. Most recently, they apparently had a €100 million bid turned down by Barcelona for Ansu Fati, the absolute wonder kid. They've been linked to Jadon Sancho, Raheem Sterling. The list goes on. And then on the flip side, they've also been linked to players like Donny van der Beek, Grealish,
Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey.
And Kai Havertz. One, where are they getting this money from? Two, who are they buying? Three, where's Pogba going if these midfielders are coming in? Because you've still got Fred. You've just bought Bruno Fernandes. Where are these fitting in? Scott McTominay's there. Where are they going? Jerome, what's going on at Man United? Are they looking to win the league? What's going on? Do you reckon Jadon Sancho is going to happen? Who are they buying?
It's one of them, innit? I think their outlook is go big or go home. There has been a lot of noise with Sancho, and they have obviously recently all their signings have been big money. Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, all of their recent signings are big, so you expect that trend to continue. It does look like they will spend big on someone, but maybe they might get rid of Pogba. That could be a way of freeing up a position. He's always rumoured to be, either not happy or looking at a different club, and his agent's always talking. So maybe that could be a space that would free up another big signing for them.
If you was a Man United fan, would you and they're linked to let's just say one of these right wingers, because they need a right winger. So let's say they get one of Sterling, Fati, or Sancho. Would you be really looking to sell Pogba, or would you be looking to keep it and try and integrate him with this squad that's looking like an absolute dream team?
Yeah, well, I think in an ideal world you'd want to keep him, but just based on what's happened the last couple of years with him, he just seems to cause a lot of controversy in the squad. And if they get a monster offer for him, then maybe they'll look to move him on.
Simon, what's happening at Man United? Are they really pushing to win the league here with the likes of bringing in the likes of Donny van der Beek, Kai Havertz, Jadon Sancho, Sterling, one of these? What's going on?
I think with Man United, it's basically just like the papers, isn't it? For the papers, for Arsenal, it's they have no money. For Man United, it's, you know what, we'll leak everything out so everyone knows how much we've got. So that's what they do all the time. But they can talk about being for Havertz. They're still talking about they want to come in and do a U-turn and try and get Thomas Partey. You've still got Fred there. You've got Bruno there. Bruno, in my opinion, is Paul Pogba's replacement already done and dusted. Pogba's going, for me, at the end of this season. He's going. He wants to go. Because the only thing that will hold Man United back is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That is the only thing. If they had Mourinho in charge with this squad that they've got now, I'd be terrified of Man United. But because it's Ole, I ain't worried. Same as they're not worried about us with Arteta.
But they had Mourinho, and he had the chance to assemble a squad. He assembled his own squad. He done really well in the first season. But then it just started to fall apart. So,
it did, because the money wasn't there for Mourinho at the time for some strange reason, and then apparently Mourinho wasn't backed. He wasn't backed in the window because he wanted certain players, because he's come out himself and said the players he wanted, and he had to basically deal with what he had. He had Matic and he had Fellaini. You're telling me Jose Mourinho wants Fellaini to sign a new deal, and he's so desperate for him? No chance.
That's one player. That's one player. He went out.
It is one player. Yeah, that's what I mean.
He went out and bought Eric Bailly and Lindelof. Yeah, and then the following season he went, nah, they're not good enough. I want to go and buy Harry Maguire. You can't do that. You can't spend near £100 million or 70, 80 million pounds on two defenders. Then the following season, you say you want to spend 70 million pound on one more defender. Could you imagine any Arsenal boss doing that? Like,
no.
any boss doing that. Like, anyone. Forget Mourinho. Anyone. Like,
no, only City.
But even City would struggle to do that. Even City would struggle to do that. Because it's not like City went out and bought Walker and then Diallo. Yeah. They were there to battle each other for positions. You can't have near £150 worth of centre backs and one of them sitting on the bench. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? Like, let's not make out Jose Mourinho was hard done by when he was at Man United for getting players. He definitely wasn't. He brought in players. The Mourinho way, is I will get in 10. If 4 of them work, sweet, get rid of the rest. If there's a loss in money, so be it. Next one. I want the next batch. Next season, next batch. Like, that's Mourinho's way. And if a club turn around and say, no, do you know what? We can't keep hemorrhaging money into these players that you buy and then don't rate the next season, then that's their prerogative, mate. That's their business. Like, he was backed.
Well, I'm about to say, anyway, with Man United now, all they need is just a right winger. That's all they need. And I think with Jadon Sancho, they'll have to sell Smalling, they'll have to sell a midfielder to raise that money, because what we've been told is that United only have 70 million to spend out of this corona crisis and everything. So they're going to raise the money for Jadon Sancho as much as they can, and I think Jadon will be the only one coming through the door.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Paul Pogba is there's pretty much only 2 clubs in the world that are going to buy Paul Pogba: Real Madrid and Juventus. And Real Madrid got no money. Juventus have got money and they're still trying to buy midfielders, but Pogba seems to have gone cold on that one. So I don't see them 2 clubs forking out for Paul Pogba this season. So in my eyes, I don't see him going anywhere. It's just a bit odd that Man United being linked to all these central midfielders. Steve, go on. But where do you see Man United were to get in a Sancho and a Donny van der Beek? Surely they've got to be a serious contender for the title.
Massive serious. There's something big's happening at Man United. You just feel it. I think, anyone who's been in football, feeling it. I was watching the Sky football show this morning. They actually said, like, the people on it saying, "Oh, we feel something's happening at Manchester United," and I was thinking us on the Transfer Exchange show said that for you. So, but when Man United when these big players get linked to Man United, you don't question it, because they've done it before. They'll pay this big money, and if Simon says they've got 70 million, well, let's just say they have got 70. Right? They've got a lot of surplus to get rid of as well, Man United. They've got Lingard, Matic, Fred can go. James hasn't really been a hit. There's probably 1 or 2 more that I think.
Rojo, Smalling. Like, these are
assets. Loads of surplus that they could throw out. With Van der Beek, Van der Sar has already confirmed that they have spoken to them, and and that they have made some kind of bid. 50 million was the rumour, and you've got to believe Van der Sar, because he's working at Ajax. Yeah. So the Sancho link just seems to be getting stronger and stronger day by day.
It's not going away, is it?
No. I mean, all right, they're saying now they want 115 million. I wouldn't surprised if United pay it. I mean, he's got 17 goals, 16 assists. So really, I don't blame him for wanting 15 million. I mean, one player who's not going to Man United is Corinthian Toulouse. And I spoke to someone in Germany, and they definitely tried to get in, but they totally got thingy out of it. You might have been. The Raheem Sterling one, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. As if Man City are going to sell to Man United.
Yeah, I mean, the Fati one was turned down. I mean, they've probably got the because Rashford turned them down. So it's but it's coming big happening at Man United, and I don't know what the thought. It just feels like it.
It feels like they're going for a big push to either challenge for a title, solidify that top 4. It feels like they're throwing all their eggs into this one basket this season. Donny van der Beek, how good is he? Like, what would he bring to the Premier League? Go on, Steve. And I know you.
Well, again, he's just another one off the Ajax conveyor belt, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he just got the lot. He just gets to the box. He's a good midfield player. I mean, what would we do to have him at Arsenal?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Ocken Cochran's we get him. He's a good player, but I'd rather have Van der Beek, you know, someone ready-made and to put him in, because they're not too far off. But Donny Van der Beek's very, very possible. And again, that rumour won't go away. So if they get Donny Van der Beek and Jadon Sancho, I mean,
yeah, I know. Jerome, how much would you like to see Donny Van der Beek at Arsenal? Do you think it'd be a good fit there?
Oh, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him.
He's got a bit of everything, isn't he?
Yeah, he's superb. He's the exact midfielder that we need. He can do a bit of everything. He's box to box. He's technical. He scores goals. Yeah, he'd be perfect. Yeah, he's got a lovely name. He'd be perfect. He'd be
Do these players want to come to Arsenal anymore? Do you think? Do you think Arsenal are a club now where these type of players are like they're not even looking at Arsenal?
You know what?
Go on.
I would say we can only dream of someone like that, but last season,
it's achievable.
But last season we spent 72 million on a winger, so you know.
Yeah.
Why not? You know what I mean?
Donny Van der Beek is you can get Donny Van der Beek. He's there. And I'm sorry, Ajax, whatever. These little kids that want to sit in the comment section and tell us Ajax are a bigger club than Arsenal. Arsenal buy players from Ajax. These top Premier League clubs, they buy players from Ajax. I'm sorry, Ajax players go from Ajax to other teams. Like, and then they go back to Ajax when they're either retiring or they want to go to another team. Like, it's a stepping stone, and and they know that. That's them. That's their ethos. That's their business plan. It's to bring through players, get them to the level where they're ready to move on to another club, and then get top money for them. And then as they're coming through, like, it's no surprise that as Donny Van der Beek's getting ready to go out, Ryan Gravenberch is coming in, and there's probably someone coming in to take over Donny Van der Beek. Like, it's just how it works. It's just how it works.
Even his girlfriend is Dennis Bergkamp's daughter.
Right.
It's that conveyor belt I talked about. They've got a conveyor belt. Someone goes in, someone goes in, someone comes in. It's a conveyor belt of players. It just keeps going like this all the time.
I'll tell you what, though, if you put Donny Van der Beek instead of Ozil in the 10, my God, just watch Aubameyang, Laka and Pepe just destroy the league. Assists and goals for free.
If Donny Van der Beek joins Arsenal, could we call him Donny Van der Bergkamp? Just because, just get it on the back. Might get
Robert Mars, are you listening?
All right.
Have a word, James.
I know you looked at, was it Sai? Did you look into Kai Havertz, the link to Man United as well, didn't you? Just before we move on. I
looked into Kai Havertz. I've looked into his link with Manchester United. It's paper talk for me. Note in it. Literally 100% paper talk.
Yeah.
I've gone through 9 articles and newspapers going through information and trying to
so that you guys don't have to. Well done, Simon. Love that dedication. Just before we go, Steve, what were the 2 papers you should look out for if you want to know if any German news is legit?
Bild, BILD, and Kicker.
Yeah.
So people, if it's not in Bild and Kicker, for the German transfer news, I'd take it with a pinch of salt. It could possibly be in other news before, but it would always be confirmed in them 2 papers if it is coming, if a German player is involved. I guarantee. Please don't just believe wishy-washy headlines such as the Upamecano one, which came out the other day, which said that AC Milan went in for a bid for Upamecano. Leipzig got on the phone, were like, "No, he's going Arsenal," and AC Milan were like, "Oh, no, we're not going to go for Upamecano." To Sport, just want to let you know that he's going Arsenal. Rubbish. Absolute garbage. I don't know how they have the audacity to press send on the email when they're sending that article to their editor. It's embarrassing. It's rubbish.
Are we getting back to Havertz?
Sorry. So I can't do with this rubbish paper talk. Like, it's just made up, man. It just gets on my nerves. Sorry, Simon. You was talking about Havertz.
Anyway, we Havertz. I've gone with Man United, and it's all just basically clickbait bollocks and all that. Pardon my French. I've gone into the Chelsea, and I've even spoken to someone as well behind the scenes who's like a Chelsea fan, but he like basically knows like with media and stuff like that. And he's told me that Chelsea put in 2 bids. The first bid for Havertz was 50 million. And then it got rejected. The second bid that they've put in is 70 million. They've offered him a 5-year contract, which he'll be earning, I think it's up to 150, could be 200k per week. So you can see Havertz is very excited by that. Havertz's dream move is Bayern Munich. He wants Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
But the fact that Chelsea have nearly got Timo Werner over the line, Timo is even talking to Havertz, we them both being German, and then basically trying to get him to come over as well. So Frank Lampard is doing his bit on the end. He's spoken to Havertz 3 or 4 times. He's had a Zoom chat with Havertz as well, which has been all cleared by Leverkusen. They've all cleared it, because if they get 70 million for him, Jesus, they should still get more, because this kid's going places.
But he's not the finished article, remember that. So if you're...
He's not the finished article yet, but I guarantee when he plays for Chelsea, if he plays for Chelsea, I guarantee within 2 years there, he'll already be on the same match as Kevin De Bruyne. Is that good, this kid? Really is. But at the minute, it does look like he could go to Chelsea. Anyone can come in for him. Real Madrid have inquired about him, but they're stuck with trying to get players out. Barcelona have inquired about him, but they're really focused on Martinez from Inter Milan. They want him.
And Panic as well from Juventus. That's serious as well.
Juventus have also, like we've all seen today, well, a few days ago, Aaron Ramsey is put up for sale for Juventus. So that's another midfielder that they want to get rid of. They want to get rid of Rabiot, which is, I tell you what, for Juventus, it's fantastic.
They keep on buying central midfielders, and I don't understand why.
I do. It's fantastic. They took Aaron Ramsey from Arsenal on a free transfer and gave him 400 a week. And now they're going to sell him. They got him for nothing, and they're going to get at least upwards to 30 to 40 million for Aaron Ramsey, because somebody will pay it.
I disagree.
Somebody will pay it.
I disagree.
Even 20 mil. Even 20 mil is fantastic.
I'll tell you why.
We'll get back to Aaron Ramsey in a minute. We'll come back to Aaron Ramsey. I promise you. It's on. It was an ad-lib one on my list, but I can see the passion in Jerome's eyes. We're going to go back to it. All right. First of all, yeah. Liverpool legends Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, also Dietmar Hamann came out this week after Chelsea's Chelsea's deal has essentially been struck with Timo Werner. He's on his way to Chelsea. Liverpool aren't going to come in and intercept that deal. Chelsea are going to pay that release clause. Since then, ex-pros have come out and said that either Timo Werner was never the right fit and he was not good enough to play for Liverpool. How is he going to get in fit in this team? Where are they going to play him? Don't go Liverpool, go Chelsea instead. Apart from the last one from Dietmar Hamann, are these pros bitter, or were Liverpool right in not going for Timo Werner? We'll start with Simon.
For me, I'd say bitter, because Timo would have been fantastic for Liverpool. He would have been just like that Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler kind of striker for him. He would have been fantastic. All you would have had to do is pretty much just either get rid of, sell Firmino, because he's done the Champions League, he's going to do the Premier League. What's left in Liverpool for him to do? He's Brazilian, he'll want to go and play with Real Madrid or Barcelona. You sell him to one of them, and you bring Timo Werner in, and you've got Mane and Salah on the wings. Or you have to get rid of one of your midfielders. so you only play with 2 in midfield, and then you bring Firmino into a 10 with Timo up top. I just think Chelsea basically have said to him, you know what, at Liverpool, you've got Salah, Firmino and Mane to compete with. You may not play every single week. This is what Nicolas Pepe went through. And then what he's done is that with Chelsea, they've got no strike. Well, they've got Tammy Abraham, but that's it. And then you've got Giroud as a backup. Timo Werner just walked straight into Chelsea's team. So for Chelsea, it is a better fit for Timo, but I think he should have gone to Liverpool because he would have been absolutely unbelievable.
Jerome, do you think they're bitter, or do you think this was the right move for Timo Werner to go to Chelsea instead of Liverpool?
I'm going to disagree with Simon later about Ramsey, but I'm going to agree with him. I'm going to.
He's not coming back, Jerome. We don't need him.
I'm going to agree with Simon about Werner. I think Liverpool are bitter, and I think they've missed a trick with this player because he's top draw, and Chelsea, if they've got him for 50 million. That's an absolute steal. He's got everything as a striker, and Liverpool, I think, have been quite fortunate in terms of their front three have stayed fit, relatively fit. And as soon as one of them gets injured, especially Firmino, because he's a central striker, they're gonna regret not signing Werner. Yeah. He's
I don't think Liverpool have got any money. I really don't. They've ordered up, put no money into the club. They're self-sufficient.
What you got to understand is they bought Alisson for upwards of 50. They bought Van Dijk for 70. They paid how much for?
Mane and Salah were 30 each, weren't it? And then Fabinho was just over 50.
Yeah, I mean you've got
Alisson 60.
You got they're running on thin. They're running.
You can't go angry though, can you? If you're a Liverpool fan and you don't sign no one again this summer, you're not going to go angry. No, you've just got the Champions League, the Premier League.
Yeah, but
I would be bothered.
No, but you can't sit there. You can't. Hold on, I'll come back to that. Steve, right move or bitter?
I've just got to agree with what Jerome just said. That this is one of the top strikers in world football at the moment.
How quick is he? Could you imagine that?
He's lightning.
I've watched him quite a few times recently, and he is a goal-scoring powerhouse. He can play on the left if asked, but then he'd be wasted. I don't know who these Liverpool players are. I mean, are they Liverpool chess players? I mean, I don't know your football players.
Robbie Fowler and Michael Owen, two of the best strikers they've ever had.
Well, they ain't got a clue.
Overrated.
They haven't got a clue. I hope they're watching down because it's not that I want to whack out stats, but I have to say these stats for this guy. Right? In 30 games, he scored 25 goals. He's had 8 assists. For Germany, he scored in 29 games. He scored 11 goals with 4 assists. This man is a powerhouse. I would go far. He's probably, next to Lewandowski, probably the best central forward striker today. Seriously, I'm not. And Liverpool they're just bitter. They're just jealous, and and Liverpool have to look for alternatives. And,
they've been blown out of water with money, in my opinion. They could have done his release clause, but they couldn't even do that.
Exactly, and it kind of rings a bit true when you're hearing that Liverpool couldn't meet the demands of the release clause, and when you're hearing rumours of players that they're now being linked with, it's on the lower end of the scale when it comes to money. So I think they couldn't. They've got no money. They've the FFP or whatever it is. They can't invest them sorts of money into players now. So I personally couldn't see where they was going with he's not good enough. Where is he going to fit? Because any club that I've known in the Premier League, to stay up there in the Premier League, to stay up there with the best and be the best, they always add on to when they've won. Man United did it for years, bringing one big signing and then one sort of project But the project wasn't cheap either. Your big signing, it was back in the day, would be your 30 million, and your project would be your 15 to 20 mil. So, and that's two big signings to add on to a championship winning team, and usually a double winning team. Whereas Man City did the same. Man City won the league, added on to that, and you was always like, why are they buying? What are they? But they have to. They have to keep themselves one step ahead from where they are. Liverpool, if they don't buy, potentially halfway through next season, the blips could start coming in. The blips, and you might not think, it might be one of them seasons where it is, no, they're ripping it up at the start. But then the blips will start coming. The fatigue will start setting in, and injuries will start setting in, and you haven't got that player to bring in, and that's the problem. You need to keep on upgrading your team every year, no matter what, win, lose, or draw.
Talk of Raul Jimenez for Liverpool. I just see just before we came on tonight. It was on the Sky. You know that Raul Jimenez was someone that Liverpool might go for.
How true is the Raul Jimenez where they said that his transfer fee might have plummeted? How true is that? Because that seems odd. Do you know why it would have?
I don't see why it would have plummeted.
Yeah, because when you were saying you want Arsenal to get Jimenez, we're talking upwards of 60 to 70 mil. Whereas recently there was an article in there that said that Raul Jimenez's transfer fee could possibly be dropping to more than half of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I did see that, and I couldn't understand why. It wasn't on April the 1st, so it couldn't have been a prank. So, but I don't understand why there was even talks.
Would Dembele be a chat? Would this one Dembele be a chat?
But still,
I think they'll end up with Coutinho. They'll get Coutinho. It's win-win when you think of it.
Or something.
Yeah, on the loan. When you think of it, it's win-win. You don't want to be at Barca. Barca don't want him. He goes back to Liverpool. You don't get straight in the squad. You're back up to Firmino. There you go. I think it'll just be a win-win for them.
All right.
Coutinho.
All right. Well, let's have a look. We've got a few transfers left to go over. Just a little insight into what's gone on this week. Transfers that have been happening this week. Obviously, we spoke about earlier. Axel Disasi. There's a link from Wolves for £13 million bid. Like I said, Wolves, I think, have put in the bid because the transfer window in France has opened up on Monday. Players can officially move to clubs between each French team, but that means that there potentially a French team could take Disasi, so Wolves is coming with an early bid. Liverpool are linked with the likes of Ruben Neves and Amada Traore. This is the level. It's not any bearing on the players that I'm talking about with compared to Timo Werner and Traore. I'm talking about offers in money wise. Ruben Neves is not going to cost 50 million. So these are the numbers. These are the links that Liverpool. And then one we spoke about earlier, Aaron Ramsey's already been linked to a move away from Juventus after moving there on a free. The Welsh midfielder is on 400 grand a week. And Juventus are looking to offload him already. If Arsenal have not been stung, if Arsenal have not been duped, if Arsenal have not been made to look like absolute fools once again in this situation, I do not know what is going on. Let's talk. Ding, ding.
Go, boys. I'm going to get me popcorn now.
Ding, ding.
Go ahead, boys. Popcorn.
Here we go. And they are off.
Don't come back to Arsenal. Please don't come back to Arsenal.
Jerome. Aaron Ramsey already being linked to a move away from Juventus. Does it hurt a bit? Does it leave a bit of a sour taste in your mouth?
You know what? Not really. My view on it is, I think Juventus have had an absolute nightmare with this one because they've got this player in that isn't a regular, and they're paying him 400 grand a week. So what team is going to come in, pay Juventus 20 or 30 million pound in a transfer fee, and then pay Ramsey 300 grand a week? It ain't going to happen. It's a bit similar. A bit similar to
Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's on 500 grand a week at Real Madrid, and Real Madrid are looking to offer him, get him out the door for 3 to 4 million because they just don't want him there. And he's sitting there pretty on 500 grand a week. Where are you going to go? Oh, you're going to pay me 500 grand a week? No, I'll stay in Madrid and play golf. Like, it's madness.
Aaron Ramsey, if he moves to a club, though, he will not ask for the sort of money he's got from Juventus.
Yeah,
he's only got that because he's a free transfer.
Yeah,
and Juventus have been very, very clever. And they do this for years.
And they do. They did it with Emre Can, and they keep him for a couple of years and sell him on. They do. But the ones they want to keep, I assure you, they keep. They did it with Rabot. They did it with. That's the deal. They get these players on the free, keep them at the club, and then sell them on big with their actual value. But when you're paying someone 400 grand a week, it's very hard for that person to then go elsewhere and not take that 400 grand a week. And it's also a big risk on Juventus's part, hoping that player's going to then turn around and say, do you know what? Yeah, I want to go, and I will be happy to take, say, a 200 grand a week wage cut.
Mm-hmm.
Simon, would you take him back if you was Arsenal?
No. Next. Sorry, I just no. For a midfielder that only scored 3 goals a season, no. I know I'm going to say it again. If you get Thomas Partey in, there you go. You've upgraded Aaron Ramsey already in the goals and assists and in work rate. The guy only turned up at the end of the season to try and save himself for the Arsenal fans to turn around and put pressure on the board to basically give him his new contract. Aaron Ramsey demanded he wanted the same money as Mesut Ozil for Arsenal. Sorry, but you've done nothing.
But did he?
You've only done
This
2 FA Cup goals. That's it.
This is hearsay.
No, that's his agent. His agent said that as well, but he's also said
quotes. I want quotes. I need quotes. I want facts, bro. You know how I roll. You know how I roll, sire. I don't.
When does the homework end?
I don't do none of that. And that's
what would you do? What would you do if we was at Arsenal? If we was at Arsenal, we would do the same. We'd be doing exactly the same thing as Aaron Ramsey.
As for Aaron Ramsey turning up at the last games of the season to try and earn a contract, absolute tosh, mate. Aaron Ramsey was by far one of the hardest workers in the Arsenal midfield. I'm not having that he weren't. He was a ball carrier. That was his game. His game was to get the ball, receive it, and pass it on. That was his game. We haven't got that at the moment. There is no one at Arsenal who takes the ball from midfield, runs with it and keeps it, not loses it like a headless chicken, and takes it to the strikers and gives them the ball, or takes it to the number 10 and gives him the ball. There's no one that's doing that at Arsenal at the moment. That is why they are crying out for a box-to-box midfielder. All right.
Still won't take him.
Last one. Not on this number, not on 400 grand a week.
He probably would have been in the Champions League. He probably would have been in the Champions League if he had stayed and he played that last 7-8 games. I guarantee he would have been in the Champions League that season.
I think that Emery was biting off his nose to spite his fate for a lot of that season. So, and I think that was his own. That was massively his downfall. Last and by no means least, this kid. He's not just got randomly bad but good hair, a shaved eyebrow, and great dress sense. He also turned down a move to Real Madrid, citing the fact after Real Madrid turned around and tried to impress him with a 1-to-1 meet with Sergio Ramos. He turned around and said, "I no longer like Sergio Ramos since he injured Mohamed Salah."
Oh, God.
He turned him down because of that, and now he's at Liverpool. Harvey Elliott, how good is he? Steve, we'll start with you. How good is Harvey Elliott?
Well, it's like you said, he's got to sort out that Barnet for a start.
As a footballer or a surfer.
But he's a 17-year-old for Liverpool. He was the youngest player to play in the English Football League. He's got the look. I mean, he's a very good dribbler, and that's not because he's so young. But he's got sharp, good feet. He's very versatile. He likes to play. He can play in the left and the right wings, and he can also play down the centre, which is for a 17-year-old is really good. Klopp loves him. Klopp loves this kid, and he's literally just signed him up on a 3-year contract. as far as England goes, I don't know. I still think he's a little way off. England place. I don't know where he would fit in. He needs to beef up a bit. He's very slight. But without doubt, an absolute, as far as technicality goes, his vision, he's got no fear, and he's got that little bit of attitude, didn't he, about him?
Yeah.
Which I like. So yeah, he's I think eventually he'll be a very good player, and Klopp thinks that too. That's why he signed him up for a 3-year contract.
Jerome, what did you think of Harvey Elliott? What are you saying on potential? How good could he be?
So he played.
Don't pull no punches, mate. That's what we're here for. It's about personal opinions.
He's flash, isn't he? He's a proper flash so and so. The way he wears his socks. Oh, I don't like him. Nah. I
don't like him.
There was a lot of talk about him when he moved to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And we've got to remember, he's only made, I know he's obviously young, he's only made 10 professional appearances in all competitions for Fulham and Liverpool. He ain't played a lot. He played against us in the Carabao Cup earlier this season.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I was expecting more. I don't know. He didn't really stand out for Liverpool. I know he's young, but I was expecting a bit more. Like Steve said, he's got a lot of ability. It's going to be so hard for him to break into the Liverpool team, though, because it's all well and good being a young player in a mid-table team where you'll probably get a chance. But when you're fighting for leagues and Champions Leagues, you've got to be so good to break into the team. And he's playing where Mo Salah plays, so best of luck. But no, he's obviously a good player, but he's got a lot of competition.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I remember that game. I agree. One player that I thought stood out more was Curtis Jones. I thought he looked really good in that game.
Yeah. You know who he reminds me of? Do you know who this Brewster reminds me of? And I couldn't stand this bloke either, David Bentley.
Oh.
Yeah, and I couldn't. He's got that. He reminds me of him a lot. I just think he's got to get rid of that attitude, otherwise he'll just go the same way as Bentley did, which is like working on the dustbins. I think he ended up, didn't he? So.
The thing is, if you've got that attitude, it's okay to have that attitude, but you've got to applicate it right. You have to use it right, and because if you are going to have the attitude, which I have nothing against, I like them kind of players, but you have to back it up. And we've got to back it up consistently. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for absolute pelters. 100%. Sir Alex Ferguson weren't wrong when he said cut your hair because you're bringing attention to yourself. If you're going to have that haircut, you're going to bring attention to yourself. It sounds old school, but that's how it is. That's how people think. That's how people think. That's just life. That's how society is. If you're going to look different and try to stand out, best be standing up for the good reasons, not the wrong reasons. Simon, how good do you think Harvey Elliott is, and what kind of potential has he got?
I don't think he's that good. I think he's a bit overrated, overhyped, should I say. Mm-hmm. But exactly the same as what you said when you said cut your hair. It reminds me a bit of David Beckham, when he was a kid and he was all swag and all that, and like not a bit like a pretty boy, but he didn't think he was better than everybody else on the pitch. Mm-hmm. But Beckham could back it up with actual talent.
He was so underrated.
That's what I mean. Beckham could literally just wear a bleeding anything that had just shocked the world, but he could back it up on the day. This kid, at the minute, you're at Liverpool, you're enjoying life at the minute, and you're coming through with the kids and the system. He played against us in the 6-5 game at Anfield, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was all right in midfield for them. He were quite good. You got Ainsley, Maitland-Niles that shut him down a few times as well when he was on the wings. Mm-hmm. Ainsley shut him down a few times. But I think if he, like you said, basically, cut your hair, stop acting like a twat, and actually just enjoy.
I was going to say, yeah, Simon didn't just quote me verbatim there. Zero of those words came out of my mouth except for if he wants to keep himself out of the profile, he probably needs to cut his hair. That's all.
It don't say that on phone.
Ewan's going to be getting his phone call now after the show.
Harvey Elliott on the phone.
This is Harvey Elliott here. What did you say about me? What was
this about my hair, you old bastard?
We got the scouts as outside beam for blood.
Mate. Not 1920, you old git. All right. So, thank you very much for that, boys. What we will be doing, over time, is I'm going to be keeping the youth player watch in England for a little while. Then we're going to flip it to the rest of the world. And this is where it's your opportunity to basically essentially compare these talents, what we've got in England to what these other countries are making up around the rest of the world. So keep watching because there's plenty of youth player watch to check out. Also, go and check out the scouts. These three guys here who put in so much time, effort, hard work. I'm not even lying. They're on WhatsApp till about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's talking about
just giving you all updates on players, literally.
Giving me information.
Anything that happens with Party or anything like that, we give you all the updates.
Simon has been assigned the Havertz, Upamecano, and Party transfers. That is his assignment till this show, until they move, until they retire. That's who he's following around, literally following them around. Make sure you go and check out these guys on Twitter. They're always there. I don't know whether their DMs are open, but they will always reply with whatever transfer questions you've got. And also, guys, we look out for transfers for you. If you hit us up and say what's going on with this, I'm sure these guys will take their time out to look it up for you. That's what we do, and we already know a lot of the stuff anyway. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. Make sure you share this with everyone because another good episode has just gone down today. Like, subscribe, hit like now before you go. Thank you very much for everyone in the comments. Couple of shouts out quickly. Stu MC, thank you very much. Melv, as always, in there. Thank you very much, Melv. Like to give a shout out to Football Talk on Facebook and Football Die Hard Fans, two very good pages where we're putting our stuff on. Go and check them out. Thank you.
Link Up Arsenal as well for the retweets. Appreciate everything.
Go and check out Link Up Arsenal. Really good guy. Pumping out loads of Arsenal information at the moment. Thank you very much for watching tonight. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands. And he blocked